Hi, I'm Matt. I'm an aerospace engineer. I want to spend most weeks doing a little analysis into aspects of everyday life that you don't typically think too much about. However, this week I wanted to share a business idea that makes a lot of sense to me, and I don't really understand why it's not already a business. Or if it is a business, it's too small and I haven't heard of it. So let's get into it. It's kind of a combination of WeWork, res life, and retirement. I'm just going to call it WeLife for short. I googled WeLife earlier, and WeLife is already taken by something, so it can't officially be that. But for this, I'm just calling it WeLife. But there's this big opportunity between Res Life, which is kind of 18 to 22 target audience, or as long as you're in college, and between retirement, where housing is more of a physical object rather than a service. Res Life kind of makes housing a service in retirement, whether it's a retirement home or a retirement community, makes housing more of a service. So, a little bit about WeWork. In 2008 or 2010, WeWork started as an eco friendly co working space. It was the fastest growing, we say, of new office space in its time. It was also a great startup incubator. However, in 2018 or 2019, it failed as an IPO and had various drama kind of behind the scenes. Um, First of all, it renamed from WeWork to We Company, where the exec had bought the naming of We Company beforehand. So they made an additional like $6 million in buying, in basically selling the name of the company to themselves. Then there was also some drama about a Gulfstream 650, in which kind of who could use the company jet. So that also got sold right around when the company was trying to go public. To this day, the valuation has fallen almost 89% as they have kind of downsized their growth and attempted to slow down their growth and grow in a more sustainable fashion. So, Res Life is the experience of living on and off campus. It has planned events for people to develop communities, code of conducts to make living with new people all the easier, so that there are less disagreements. Has staff to support community growth rather than just putting a lot of people in a melting pot. There's different sorts of events, different activities, people to consult if there are any issues. It's overall there to facilitate students' transition to college, making it easier and for the students to become comfortable and attempting to lower the dropout rate of colleges. It offers a convenient and connections to campus or on campus so that students don't have to go looking elsewhere for connections to feel comfortable. And it is a safety net, security blanket, or just itself support for the students to feel more comfortable. It Res Life also offers involvement and leadership opportunities for the students to host their own events, make their own programming if they want to be involved in that sort of way, and it offers increased intercultural competency, so that students might come across someone of a different cultural background and offers them a chances to learn about different cultural backgrounds and become accustomed to this. So moving from res life to retirement homes and retirement communities, often thought of as old people's homes. Again, it offers different opportunities for older people to live together in a more condensed area, with oftentimes more support, such as meals, social gatherings, health and hospice care. So healthcare workers wouldn't have to travel as far, or recreational activities. Retirement homes, retirement communities are often located in warmer areas such as Florida, California, New Mexico, and Texas. So I guess kind of the reason or idea kind of thing that I noticed that made me start to think that res life could kind of sort of expand outside of the college target audience, so that there's this audience in which um, young single people are being single for longer and wanting to save money due to large student loans. So, for instance, just looking at the median age of first marriage over time, for both men and women, the average age has been increasing almost since 1975. So people already do this. People already are looking for ways to save money, just because student loans are expensive, increased cost of housing. So housing prices go up every year. Wages haven't gone up as much. Housing is an issue, and there are kind of two basic approaches. Well, I guess three approaches. One is to spend a little bit more money for your own space. The second option is to go in with a group of friends and cost share a house. It's definitely cheaper than an individual apartment, offers a community aspect. Then kind of the third option is a homeowner rents out individual rooms. This is more expensive than the cost sharing option, but it's also easier in its own right because you don't have to pay person A for utility A, person B for internet, person C for the house payment. So it makes it a little bit easier, even though it's a little bit more expensive. But it's still cheaper than renting your own individual apartment. And again, kind of offers a community aspect for people to feel a little bit more at home, have those other people to relate to. Moving on to the early startup phase. So the goal is to transition to a new area and facilitate the building of communities quickly. The goal of the company. You would start out by renting three or more bedroom apartments in buildings, townhomes, or apartment complexes, along with renting or mimicking the Res Life student staff member position, where the student staff member or this person living there for free would get to run weekly activities and do roommate agreements to try and prevent roommate conflicts, making it easier for everyone to go through living together, making sure everyone's on the same page to begin with. It would overall make the process easier by charging everyone one flat fee for housing, gas, electric, lawn care if there is any, and internet. So it takes stress off the renter's mind. But I'd say the biggest issue in this process is advertising could prove difficult just because it's such a small idea, and your goal is to get people from different aspects or different areas to come together so that they don't necessarily know each other. So there's no, I'd say, goal target audience. Your goal is to reach out to a lot of different areas to bring new people together. So advertising could be difficult. Moving on to eventually you'd want to what you want to develop into. So again, the goal is to facilitate the transition to a new area and facilitate buildings of communities quickly. So again, instead of renting out different apartments, you won't want to own a whole building or an apartment complexes, mimicking student staff buildings. So you'd want each apartment or set of roommates to have 3 or 4 bedrooms. You'd also want to have one bathroom per bedroom because people are a lot more comfortable with having their own bathroom space. And then you'd also want a community room per floor to host those weekly events for the student staff members or just people to hang out in their free time in. Again, I guess there would also be more of outside of the student staff member person living there for free, you'd want professional staff members to help run the building, probably like almost every other building complex, except maybe an additional staff member to facilitate the student staff members or people working there for free, or who are living there for free, to help them develop curriculums, develop activities, that sort of thing, and also to handle different issues that may come up. Again, you charge one flat fee, so that covers rent, electricity, gas, internet, lawn care if there is any. But this time, now that, say, the program has grown a little, your target audience is still young people or / people getting out of college. So anywhere from 18 to 30, as we looked at earlier, the whole age of people marrying. So the goal is anyone between college and marriage, providing people with a community before they've necessarily moved in with their loved one. And I guess moving on to the conclusion, the goal is still to facilitate the transition to a new area, whether they're moving out of their home, well, to right down the street, or moving into a city that's 100 or 200 miles away from their house, or maybe even across country. The goal is to facilitate the transition so that if someone is comfortable living in a new area, and to facilitate the building of communities quickly. The business, I think I called it WeLife, is to make money by renting out rooms individually of larger apartments and combining utilities. So there would be 10 or 20% tacked on just out of ease, and that's how the company makes its money. Res Life, I'm sure, has its own way. It's done that forever. So there's definitely money to be made there. The target audience is 20 to 30, and this audience is increasing almost every year as the median age of first marriages gets older and older. The biggest issue would be a high turnover if people want to leave once they have their tight-knit community, and once those communities have developed. But the goal would be to be able to have the communities large enough so that you can't just move into with your 4 closest friends from it. The goal would to be have the community interacted enough that it's just easier for people to remain there for a little while. And that's pretty much it. So it's just kind of Res Life, but aimed at a different audience that's not necessarily in school. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like the video if you think WeLife would work, and please leave a comment on why you think it wouldn't work, if you think it wouldn't work. Thanks.